by the end of May 10th. The Vice President says that MDP Parliament aims to hold government projects. And the Vice President commends the dedicated efforts of PSMNews in providing credible and relevant news to the public. Welcome to the English News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. The government announces the return of Indian troops stationed in the Maldives to India by the end of May 10th, as stated in an official statement following the 4th high-level core group meeting with the Indian administration. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu resolved to deploy Indian troops upon assuming office in November, in line with agreements made by the previous administration. Following negotiations, some Indian troops were already sent back before March 10th, and now all remaining troops will be withdrawn by May 10th, with ongoing efforts to facilitate this process. Moreover, discussions during the 4th high-level core group meeting in New Delhi also addressed the redeployment of Indian troops stationed in Malé, with attendance from senior officials from both India and the Maldives. The Maldivian administration emphasized that redeployment is proceeding according to schedule and assured its commencement. Furthermore, bilateral relations between India and the Maldives were also discussed, with plans for the 5th high-level core group meeting scheduled for June or July, aiming to further strengthen and intensify cooperation between the two countries. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif affirms in an exclusive interview with PSMNews that despite persistent attempts by the supermajority in the outgoing parliament to obstruct government-led projects, their efforts have ultimately failed. His remarks coincided with the 7th anniversary of PSMNews and World Press Freedom Day, highlighting the importance of a supermajority in parliament for formulating and ratifying government policies. Vice President Latif emphasized the challenges posed if the parliament works against these initiatives. He urged responsible debate on proposed bills and emphasized the need for swift action. However, he revealed that since President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu took office, the current parliament has actively tried to delay projects. Despite these challenges, Vice President Latif credited President Muizzu's knowledge and wisdom for initiating projects not originally included into the state budget. He cited the ongoing Ras Malé project as an example, noting that despite lacking parliamentary support, essential decisions are now in the implementation stage. Vice President Latif further expressed optimism for different parliament in the near future, emphasizing its swift approach to government-led initiatives. Following the recent parliamentary elections on April 21st, the ruling party People's National Congress (PNC) achieved significant success by securing a supermajority with 66 seats. Additionally, 6 independent parliamentary elects have aligned with PNC, bringing the total representation to 73 seats, the highest ever won by a ruling party. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif commends the dedicated efforts of public service media PSMNews in providing credible and relevant news to the public. The remarks were made by the Vice President on a post shared on social media commemorating the 7th anniversary of PSMNews. Conveying his heartfelt felicitations, the Vice President lauded the tireless efforts exerted by the PSMNews, operating 24 hours while delivering updated and relevant news. PSMNews covers a wide range of topics including local and international affairs, sports and business in both English and Divehi languages. Celebrating the 7th anniversary of the channel, the Vice President met with the employees of PSMNews. A special interview with the Vice President will be aired on PSMNews at 2100 hours. In addition to celebrating the anniversary of PSMNews, the Vice President extended his regards to all employed in media organizations, commemorating the World Press Freedom Day. He also reiterated the government's unwavering efforts to establish a sustainable environment for all forms of journalism. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif launches the new logo of Fahidiri Ulum Corporation Limited (FTC). The logo was launched by the Vice President in a special ceremony held at Crossroads, Maldives, commemorating the 5th anniversary of the corporation. During the ceremony, FTC presented a video showcasing the ongoing efforts and projects. The corporation further revealed that efforts are underway to complete the development of housing units expeditiously. Several awards were distributed to the staff of FTC by the Vice President, recognizing their dedication and contribution. Such awards include Quality Assurance Award, Outstanding Contributor Award, and the Employee of the Year Award. FTC, a state-owned corporation, was established on March 12, 2019, aiming to launch nationwide housing projects. Minister at the President's Office for Strategic Communications, Ibrahim Khalil, underscores the importance of exercising the freedom of press within the responsibilities. He made the remarks while speaking at a program aired on PSMNEWS. Commemorating the 7th anniversary of PSMNEWS, Minister Khalil was invited to the program as he played a pivotal role in founding the PSMNEWS channel during his tenure as the former Managing Director of the public service media PSM. The minister worked in the field of journalism and broadcasting for several years, actively engaging in various media positions, including reading and writing news articles. Highlighting the convenience within the field following the advancements of technology, Minister Khalil articulated his vision for PSMNEWS to serve as the primary national channel delivering reliable and timely news coverage across the entirety of the country. In observance of World Press Freedom Day, the minister noted the continuous expansion of press freedom over the years. On this stance, he stressed the significance of media outlets to execute obligations in disseminating news, urging the spread of credible information. Furthermore, Minister Khalil revealed the government's plan to expand and promote journalism. As such efforts are underway to provide educational opportunities and to strengthen the financial stability of media organizations. Minister of Youth Empowerment, Information and Arts Ibrahim Wahid confirms the registration of 70 news magazines during the current administration, speaking in honor of World Press Freedom Day. In his address commemorating the occasion, Minister Wahid stressed the administration's commitment to safeguarding press freedom, emphasizing President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's unwavering dedication to his cause. He assured that hindering press freedom by any state-owned authority is not government policy. Moreover, Minister Wahid highlighted government initiatives aimed at facilitating ease for journalists, including the passage of legislation for Media Village by Parliament and plans for practical implementation. Efforts are underway to incorporate press freedom into the government's legislative agenda, and steps are being taken to ensure the legal backing of institutions like the Maldives Broadcasting Commission (MBC) and the Maldives Media Council (MMC). The minister also noted the administration's proactive efforts to promote higher education in media fields and raise awareness of media careers, resulting in an increase in the case of news magazine registration. He emphasized that a total of 265 news magazines have been registered thus far. Furthermore, Minister Wahid stressed the importance of responsible and reliable reporting, urging journalists to uphold their responsibilities. He assured that any threats to Maldivian journalism, whether direct or indirect, will be taken seriously by the administration, with President Dr. Muizzu's tenure prioritizing safety and security for all. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs announces that 18 individuals have departed to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as part of the national project for refreshing imams and khatibs. The program was launched on February 11th and will offer training both locally in the Maldives and abroad. The initial batch of further training for imams under the project departed for Makkah on February 16th. Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Said disclosed that the second batch of further training for imams and preachers will return on May 17th. The minister unveiled plans to send the group to historical sites and attractions situated in Makkah and Medina, in addition to partaking in training programs. Additionally, Minister Said outlined plans to send imams and khatibs to various countries including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia for training throughout the year. The national project The National Project for Refreshing Imams and Khatibs is a program aimed at enhancing the skills of permanent imams across 11 regions through additional training. With the launch of this program, over 64 imams and khatibs have been trained from the islands within Gulf Khalifa Atoll. The government has set a target of training of the imams by the year's end through this initiative. Ministry of Economic Development and Trade and the Maldives Islamic Bank MIB centers an agreement aiming to expedite and streamline the registering services for businesses. The agreement was signed to enhance the quality of services, ensure information security, and facilitate an efficient registration process. Following the signing of the agreement, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammed Said, disclosed that customer data can be readily verified within the assistance of the Ministry's Application Programming Interface API. The Minister stated that this would enable businesses to set up bank accounts in a convenient manner. Regarding this Registrar of Companies, Mariam Wahid underscored the pivotal role API will play in authenticating business to customers and expediting in the verification process. This initiative will significantly benefit individuals accessing online services from the Ministry, fostering economic development within the nation. This marks the first agreement of this kind signed by the Ministry. Surrounded by glass-fronted display cabinets filled with shimmering gold bracelets and necklaces at London's Pakiza Jewellers store, Manager Zahid Khan laments the impact of record high prices of the precious metal.
People obviously buy not as much as before, Khan told reporters as his sales staff weighed gold necklaces and tapped into calculators, adding there had been a big increase in prices. Pakiza is located in East London's Green Street Jewellery Quarter, popular destination among the Asian community, while nearby shops also sell traditional clothing like abayas and saris. Gold products also including rings and other trinkets are a traditional gift for births, weddings and other family celebrations because the precious metal is regarded as an inflation-proof investment that will stand the test of time. Yet the recent spike in gold prices driven by haven demand amid geopolitical tensions and the prospect of US interest rate cuts which weigh on the dollar has impacted the jewelry market. A few years ago, customers could buy 200 grams of gold for $2,500, but now they buy only 100 grams and it will cost between 600 euros and 800 euros. The gold price has jumped 13% since the start of 2024, and in mid-April it set a record of $2,431 per ounce, which equates to about 30 grams. For jewelers, the worst aspect is price volatility because customers track the market and wait for prices to drop before they go shopping. Khan added that most Green Street jewelers are working daily to calculate their own product prices based upon the morning gold price fix published by industry body, the London Bullion Market Association. This pricing system is essential to the global trade of jewelry, particularly in the world's two biggest markets, China and India.
An Israeli military insertion into Gaza's southern city of Rafah could lead to a bloodbath, the World Health Organization warns, announcing contingency plans.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to crush Hamas's remaining fighters in Rafah, where much of Gaza's population has sought refuge from nearly 7 months of war. WHO Director General Tedros warned of possible dire implication for the 1.2 million people sheltering in Rafah. Tedros said on X that WHO is deeply concerned that a full-scale military operation in Rafah, Gaza could lead to a bloodbath and further weaken an already broken health system. In a statement, the WHO announced contingency efforts but warned the broken health system would not be able to cope with the surge in casualties and deaths that a Rafah insertion would cause. According to the WHO, most of the besieged territory health facilities have been damaged or destroyed amid heavy Israeli bombardment. The UN Health Agency said that only 12 of Gaza's 36 hospitals and 22 of its 88 primary health facilities are partially functional. The statement said that as part of contingency efforts, WHO and partners are urgently working to restore and resuscitate health services. It added that Rafah's 3 currently operational hospitals would become unreachable when hostilities intensify in their vicinity. Instead, the WHO is working to restore South Gaza's largest hospital, the Nasser Medical Complex, in nearby Khan Yunis, and establish additional medical sites. A military operation in Rafah could spark a new wave of displacement, leading to more overcrowding, limited access to food, water, and sanitation, and more outbreaks of diseases. The bloodiest ever Gaza war started after an unprecedented attack on southern Israel by Palestinian militant group Hamas on October 7, 2023.
Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola backs England to win Euro 2024 if they follow his club's road to continental glory.
Guardiola finally guided City to their first Champions League crown last season after a number of near misses earlier in his reign. The Spaniard feels Gareth Southgate can do the same with England following their own painful failures on the brink of silverware. England were beaten in the European Championship final by Italy on penalties at Wembley in 2021, lost the World Cup semi-final against Croatia in 2018, and were beaten by France in the 2022 World Cup quarter-finals. Guardiola told reporters that they are really good, and it is not just the talent of the strikers, it is the whole package, the whole group, and Gareth knows perfectly what he has to do. He said that he has the feeling, everyone has the feeling, that the England national team from the last events, the World Cup and the European Championship, they make steps, they are on the verge, they are really close, and they lost a final, got to a semi-final. He added that when people arrive at these stages every 2 years, it is going to happen. He also said that it is quite similar to them, they were close and in the end they lifted it. Guardiola believes the English passion for football, which has often weighed heavily on their players at tournaments, will prove a more uplifting factor this time. City forward Phil Foden could have a key role to play for England after an outstanding season at club level. The 23-year-old's performance was recognised as he was named the Football Writers Association Men's Player of the Year on Friday. Guardiola believes Foden, who has progressed through the club's youth ranks to become one of their most important players, could go on to become one of the city's greatest ever.
Boeing Starliner capsule blasts off to the International Space Station on its first crewed mission, several years after SpaceX first achieved the same milestone.
The flight final test before Starliner takes up regular service for NASA is critical for the US aerospace giant, whose reputation has suffered of late due to safety issues with some of its passenger jets. Starliner, which was first ordered a decade ago by the US Space Agency, has had a bumpy ride to the finish line with surprise setbacks and multiple delays, a saga Boeing is eager to complete. Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are set to leave Cape Canaveral aboard the capsule. Starliner will be propelled into orbit by an Atlas V rocket made by United Launch Alliance, a Boeing-Lockheed Martin joint venture. Wilmore and Williams, Navy-trained space program veterans, have each been to the ISS twice, traveling once on a shuttle and then aboard a Russian Soyuz vessel. Tests will be performed to check it is working properly, and then Williams and Wilmore will be reboard the capsule to return home. A successful mission would help dispel the bitter taste left by the numerous setbacks in the Starliner program. In 2019, during a first uncrewed test flight, the capsule was not placed on the right trajectory and returned without reaching the ISS. Then in 2021, with the rocket on the launch pad for a new flight, blocked valves forced another postponement. The empty vessel finally reached the ISS in May 2022. Since then, Boeing has been working on the crewed test flight to the capsule can be certified for NASA's use on regular ISS missions. It had hoped to carry out the flight in 2022, but problems kept cropping up, notably in the parachute system used to slow the craft when it returns to Earth's atmosphere.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.